Oh, ladies and gentlemen, hello, everybody. Hello. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Nation News. We got a lot to get into today on this here Monday morning regarding the Clayton Echard paternity scandal. So do me a solid as we populate the chat room. Please do me a favor and hit the like button an odd number of times. Once works just fine. I'm going to share with you guys some of these wild text messages coming in. There I am. Wow. I'm new. It's Monday. It's Monday, folks. We've got the email exchange between Clayton Echard's accuser, Jane Doe's lawyer, and Greg Gillespie, who, of course, may be a witness in this case. What's going on with my hair? A lot of hair happening there. I'm going to go live with you guys today till noon Central Standard Time, and then I'm going to be going onto the Patreon where we make today's podcast. So, a lot to get into. I guess I'll give you guys a brief rundown of what I'm going to share with you today. And then we've got some old, but a lot new happening here. So, we've got these text messages, which is really all part of a police report that is 77 pages of text messages between Jane Doe and Greg Gillespie. I'm not going to read all of these today, although I do think these could warrant their own separate sort of like day because it's pretty wild stuff. What we are going to share, though, is the wild email exchange that has happened between Jane Doe's attorney and Greg Gillespie. It seems as though Jane Doe's attorney said something like, "Hey, I want to get down to the truth. Show me evidence that she lied and I'll drop her," that did that whole thing. Then Greg Gillespie shares that evidence. And then, oh, hold on. I have a cricket button here. Let me see if I can find my cricket button here. It's been a while since I needed to use my cricket button. So he says, "Show me that evidence." And then Greg Gillespie shows the evidence. And then we get that beautiful campfire crickets. So we're going to get into all that. Hello to the chat room. Feel free to leave a message. Let me know how you're doing this morning. But yeah, these it's important to hit the like button because we when we populate these chats, we have to let YouTube know that we've got new information we're sharing, this and that and the other. So I want to get into the letters here, starting right here. It's a lot. Okay, it's going to be a lot. I want to get into all of this. But first, although I think I'm missing one already. Oh, yeah, here it is. I want to get into all of this. The first one was from Greg Woodnick to Greg Gillespie. But before I get into all of this, we're just going to have to kind of wait till we get a little more people in the chat and get ready for all that. I hope everyone had a good Mother's Day. Yeah, wild shirt. Yeah, this is my little Hawaiian. Just a Hawaiian shirt, nothing crazy. It's not linen, just Hawaiian. I got my gavel here that Amy gave to us. You guys know my gavel here, which says the Honorable Judge Dave Neal. So there it is. Not good in a court of law, but it does work in the court of YouTube. So we've got that ready to go. And also, someone sent me, this is crazy. Someone actually sent me this. This is a seat belt. I'm not kidding. I've never opened it. Someone sent me a seat belt. So as you guys know, when times are crazy, we tell people to buckle up. So this is actually a seatbelt here that was sent to me. Look at that. So this is just to let you guys know, sometimes we need to buckle up because the court case can get so crazy that if we don't buckle up, we can slide off the chair. It's a little turbulent out there. So flight attendant Dave here to tell you to buckle up. So I guess we'll keep this around us. Maybe we'll have this ready to go when the time comes for that buckling to happen. So Angela said, "How do people just send you random things?" I know. Listen, trust me, I didn't know I needed a buckle or a gavel, but this is just the life of a YouTuber. You say, "Well, Dave, I want to get into YouTube for all the crazy fun gifts like seatbelts." I understand. I get it. So either way, there that is. Chris said, "Buckle up." Yes, you've got to buckle. If you aren't buckled up, you are going to get bogged down in all of the nonsense. All right, so we'll get into all of that. But first, just to take a trip down memory lane here, I'm going to share with you again. There's 77 pages of text messages. It's a lot. I've written down 4 pages. I'm going to share page 12. It essentially, these are the text messages. I'm assuming I don't know. I'm assuming the police report was from Jane Doe because she's on the right here. And normally when you look at a text message, the home person's on the right, the away person's on the left. So if I look at what's a text message I can look at there, I'm on the right and my buddy's on the left, right? I'm blue. So Jane's on the right here. So I'm assuming she submitted these text messages. I don't know why. I don't know why, but because she doesn't look good in them. But regardless, it worked because I think she ended up getting a protective order, right? So she was talking about whether or not they're going to have the kid or not. And this again is before Greg Gillespie finds out that she stole an ultrasound from a blog called The Vanishing Twins, right? That ultrasound has been proven to have come from a 2015 blog. She denies that she ever sent it. But they're going back and forth. She says, you mentioned your family above and also about child support. He says, my family will never speak to you. Well, then she said, well, then let's not have a kid. And he goes, no, shoot, Sherlock. She said, let's just be together then. And he goes, Jesus, whoever said we were having a kid? We are not. You won't have me in your life, so don't ever mention that again. You won. You pissed me off. Well done. I cannot believe you. So at this stage, and I don't have the exact dates, but at this stage, I believe it's early October or early August 2021, he still believes that she only just wanted to piss him off. And he says, wow, I turned off notifications for 20 hours to get some rest to fight a fever. Do you not see the irony in the way you have behaved versus me? I have been honest with you, patient, not changed my mind, and you have. She said, I was sick from the pills and you didn't care. So she claims she took the pills. He then says, he didn't talk to her for a while because he was sick, probably was trying to avoid her. He said, you threatened me and my family with this. You couldn't even take them correctly. She said, I'm not trying to threaten anything at all. He said, that's your fault. I know how to read directions. And if you had questions, you should have asked. By the way, how do you have the time for all of this drama? She said, who takes pills in their vagina? I don't. I didn't notice it. Do they have to go through the vagina? I'm not sure. He says, I don't have time. I can't afford it. I take care of it and you won't be, and stop putting us through so much back and forth. She said, that's what I wanted. He said, this is literally insane. Never have I ever been a part of something so ludicrous. Then do it and stop with the drama. She said, neither have I. Now, as it turns out, she was involved with Mike Maricini at the very least. So we know that that's not true. He said, I don't do drama. She said, I don't either. You're not pregnant. Have some dang empathy. He says, clearly you are. I have. It wasn't enough. All right. So now we get to August 4th. Okay. So this is important because what I'm sharing with you will lead up to the new information I'm going to share with you. Good morning. I appreciate the text. I don't feel great after going to dinner. I was completely exhausted and drained sitting at the table, but I needed to go. We had a new girl start on Monday, so just kind of chit chat. I don't know why this would be happening under the, I just want to be, okay. So she says, I'm very sorry that you're feeling sick and for the role this has played in it. I feel panicked and misunderstood because the last thing I want to do is to be dramatic or play games. I felt very strongly that I would either go through it to be with you or for a greater thing to do this ahead, or I would do what I felt my faith was guiding me to do. I have been terrified either way. When it failed the first time, so she took the plan B, she said, and she said it failed. When it failed the first time, and then I found out you blocked me, it made me feel like somehow the universe was telling me I made the wrong decision. Sorry for being firm about seeing each other before I do this, but I have to make sure we have a connection before and that this is worth it, that there is an us and that there is going to be afterwards. I don't understand why that would be any issue if you felt strongly about me and wanted to stay afterwards. The conversation last night made me feel that way. It has been a long time of us going at each other's throats, and I need to remember who we were pre-pregnancy. Again, I'm going to share with you the text where he goes, look, we met, we had sex on a one night stand. Like, that's it. There is no, what are you talking about? She said, again, by no means during this process have I actually wanted to have a child out of wedlock and under these circumstances. Catholic school really freaked me out about consequences. I want to conceive a kid in a marriage out of love and where we actually want to see pregnant on a pregnancy test. I think we can use this situation as a strong foundation for something more meaningful. His response to all that, will you take the pills tonight? I don't want to have a baby this way. That would mean you can take the others tomorrow and Friday, and by the weekend, I will be hopefully 100%. This will be past us, and we can plan to go to Sedona maybe Sunday. I have personal time off also. If you can get off work, we could go Sunday or Monday. All right, so now he's saying, Jane, can you get off work? And Jane's going, this is work. What are you talking about? This is my work. He says, I need to relax after this. I know you do also, and I can't with everything going on. This should have been completed this time last week. So what he doesn't realize is that there's a general sort of like delay tactic being used here. Oh, the pills didn't work. And I mean, this is my opinion. My opinion is she's saying, I'll take the pills if we go out, or if we, agree. And he goes, all right, fine. Yeah, we'll go out. And then she takes the pills. Then he blocks her. And then she's like, whoa, 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 pills didn't work. He's like, okay, fine, take the pills, and then we'll go to Sedona. And, he's getting, prepared to block her again, is my opinion. So anyway, we're going to jump ahead to page 31 here. And I don't know, you tell me in the comment section, would you like to see a full reading of all of these text messages? Because if you do, they'll have to be on a different day. We have a copious amounts of information to get through here. She said, this is not all on you. I chose you. That is my decision. I don't want to have a child out of wedlock and obligation. He said, then don't. She said, exactly what I'm going to do. He said, do it now. She said, with you tonight. Let's do it. He said, I'm working. He said, no, have the baby. She said, wow, you're the one who asked me to come over and do it. He said, keep the bastard and raise it alone and find another single parent to enjoy it with. She said, I don't want that. He said, no, you have many times. Yes, you do. You've said it. She said, I want to get it done in front of you. He said, so effing do it. She said, I don't. He said, I don't care. She said, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have an abortion. He said, have your bastard unwanted child that will likely have defects. Now, he says this because she claims she partially took the thing and it's, not going well. So at this point, it's my belief he's calling her bluff. That's just my belief. I don't know. She said, that is my choice. He said, you've put us through this enough. Choose to, don't choose to. I don't care. It's your effing decision either way. Do it. She said, I'm going to take the pills. Please calm down. I want to do it and move on. He said, effing do it. I don't care. He said, you have been a liar, a manipulator, and this has gone on long enough. You have driven me nuts with the circles and harassing. You are a terrible person. She said, oh my God, are you serious? He said, you can enjoy your bastard child and all your money in your own. And she said, did you see what the church says about abortion? He says, yeah, I'm serious. I don't give a flip. She said, I would keep my promise to you. He said, church is a belief. You already lied to me on many fronts. I will never believe you. She said, then why do you care about a bastard child? I have changed my mind because I have felt tortured on this. He said, until you effing prove it with actions, you are all talk, immature child. She said, I would take them for you. He said, guess what? When I quit my job and work at McDonald's, guess what? When I quit my job and work at McDonald's, I don't know what that means. She said, I effing do this and never speak of it again. He said, your child support will be 50 cents. You think I'll support a wealthy bastard? You're out of your effing mind. Yeah, you had the opportunity. So it goes on and on and on. Let's go to page 39 here. He said, I don't need a liar in my home alone reporting me to the police. She said, I will do it with no issue. He said, my word versus yours. I refuse to take that risk. Then effing do it. You are a liar and you won't. She said, I won't do it with you and you would see. I made a promise to you when you were being nice and kind. You are not being that way right now. He said, I didn't come in you. You slept with me on the first date. You asked for my middle name. You planned this all. She said, what? He said, yeah, bitch, that's what I said. She said, why the F would I do that? He said, you effing liar. And then I broke it off and you went nuts. She said, you've lost it. And he said, you got what you want. A bastard child. She said, I don't want that. He said, obviously you do, you liar. Stop calling me that. You lied over and over, threatening me. Liar. Made me believe you liked me and wanted me. You wanted to make me a dad and put me in the hook for an unwanted. It's getting. She said, I don't deserve this. Try being a woman having an unplanned pregnancy at 31 and you feel the guilt. He said, have fun living a single life. So it goes back and forth. And I don't know what the timestamp is on this. Stephanie said the gaslighting keeps a teeny tiny thought in the back of their heads that she'll go after them for child support or she'll harass them forever with a child as a tie. Yeah, he knows he didn't come in her. Um, and so it goes on and on. I mean, on and on and on. And I don't know at what part it ends, but it's like it, you know, there's different clips and this and that. So if I ever read this in its entirety, I think we'll have to do it with the help of somebody else, because it's just a lot. So we're gonna keep going, but I wanted to share all of this just to show what was going on with Greg and Jane, and what it appears was going on was, um, as far as I know, Greg was out with his buddies, just went through a breakup, and had a one night stand with Jane. He said there that he didn't come inside of her. I don't know why he would lie if that were the case here. So he doesn't believe she's pregnant. Now, what's going to happen is she's going to share those what are now known as a fraudulent ultrasound with Greg. She's also going to deny it. But the interesting part is that when her lawyer asks for proof, Greg sends that proof and then never hears back from the lawyer. As far as I know, now there might be more to this story here, but that's as far as I know. I'm always willing to hear more. Why this matters is that as we look back to 2023 in October, emails to, I believe, me and Clayton, I think I was CC'd on this. I can't remember. Maybe not. No, this was an email directly to Clayton. She says, I opened the file labeled sonogram 9523. That was the file she sent to Reality Steve. That was also a old 6-year-old ultrasound video. She says it matches up with the still photo that Dave sent me, which I told him was not my ultrasound. I'm 100% sure you won't believe me, but I had a different sonogram video with that same title that I uploaded weeks ago. Greg went into my Dropbox and changed it. My Dropbox was open to everyone to edit rather than just view, which I didn't know about for a week. He would benefit so much if he were able to throw this on me, which he won't be able to do. If neither you nor Dave posted the costume photo with me holding that specific sonogram image of our son, then Greg went into my computer and took it. No one else was sent it. Again, this is a whole. So she's claiming that Greg is the culprit in the Clayton issue because of the axe to grind. Greg's going to prove through what I'm sharing with you that he was sent this ultrasound from her. Now, we already know that we paid the $3,000 or so to have Mike Maricini vindicated from where she claims she never sent him the fake ovarian cancer thing. So I know it's a lot, but that's kind of like the graduate degree that catches us up to where we are right now. Here's an email from Greg Woodnick, who's representing Clayton Echard and formerly represented Greg Gillespie. So Greg Woodnick to Greg Gillespie. Greg, I hope this note finds you and your family doing well. I assume you're navigating the sleepless world of being a new parent. Got that down. I also bet that little boy is beyond adorable and would love to see a picture. I wanted to remind you that there is a trial in the Clayton Echard matter on the morning of June 10th, back in front of Judge Mata. You are listed as a witness along with Mike and Matt. Our time is limited but sufficient, so your testimony will be quite brief. You may not be aware, but Jane has alleged that medical records, specifically the video sonogram attached to her emails and texts to Clayton and one or more media journalists, were somehow tampered with by you. And again, I'll show my laptop. I'll give all access to everything. All of you know because you watched it play out and you went into my inbox and saw the emails from Jane Doe. You saw the timestamps and all of this. Now, I mean, she's now claiming that her account was hacked by Greg Gillespie. That's not on me. As far as any fabrication I have done, absolutely ridiculous. I've got hundreds of hours of video showing my work in putting it all together. She's watching me like a hawk, prepared to sue me, trying to do all these things to damage and mess up my life because I've done something wrong? No, because she wants to punish me for exposing what I believe to be is all of the fraud. So you see how vitriolic some can be, and you see how conspiratorial it just doesn't land because we have all of the technology, all of the tech, all of it, all of the metadata on our side, which is what side is that, Dave? It's the side of truth. It's a side of truth. So when she says, "Oh, that wasn't the same ultrasound I had," show us the ultrasound you had. What was the ultrasound you had dated September 5th that's different than the ultrasound we saw? Where is it? We haven't seen it. The only ones we've seen are ones hijacked from her sister, hijacked from a blog, hijacked from YouTube. And now the new one, which no one's been able to trace back to, may actually have an original source still working on that. Okay, folks? So Greg Woodnick continues. You may be getting a call or email from David Gingras. He is Jane's most recent attorney and replaced Corey Keith. He may want to talk to you about your testimony in history with Jane. Feel free to talk to him on your own, or I am happy to be in a conference call if you want me to be present. While I was your lawyer, if you decide to talk to Gingras on your own, you need not discuss anything related to our conversations as they were attorney-client privilege and probably not interesting. Gingras should not be asking you about privileged matters, but of course, you could discuss your history with Jane. David has your phone number and email address as it was in our disclosure. Here is his contact info. I know reliving what happened is not pleasant for any of you guys. Hopefully, this comes to an end soon. Greg. This was from April 19th, 2024. So just from a few weeks ago. So now we've got Greg Gillespie responding to Gingras. I shouldn't say responding to. This is Greg Gillespie speaking to Gingras, and I know it's a lot here, and you're not going to be able to see it, but I'm just going to cover it. Mr. Gingras, Greg Woodnick sent me your contact info. I am not interested in airing this drama on social media. I am also a private person, unlike Jane and Clayton. I am a normal guy with a normal job and fixated on being a new dad in my normal life. You can imagine how upset I was when I was told by people following the Echard matter that you may have shared legal papers involving my case with Jane and her pregnancy nonsense on your blog. I have never spoken about my case publicly or shared the absolute hell your client put me through. Not one of the other lawyers that Jane had ever did that or treated me with such disregard. You broadcasting my cases with Jane is so similar to her history of contacting my work, emails to my HR, threats to reach out to employees via Uncle Joe's bizarre emails, having OOPs served to my office, and probably more I am not thinking of at the moment. Multiple times to get me to humiliate or get me fired. This feels like an attempt to intimidate me, not to come to court for Clayton. And if you are about to say that it was the other online people and you were just responding or that it was not your intention, save the oxygen as you are insulting my ability to read. One thing we haven't considered yet is the motivation behind Gingras. Is it just to represent Jane, or is he being hired by her family to really sow doubt and to just wreak havoc on everyone involved? I truthfully don't know. I truthfully don't know. But I do know I got the email from him asking me not to share it. That was an email that was kind of like talking about all, sorry, hold on one second here. Comment banners. I'm just trying to see here why it doesn't show. I saw that I got a super chat. Let's see here. Oh, Chris, you didn't post this video on Patreon. I barely saw. Oh, $2. Okay. I didn't realize that I was supposed to be posting this on Patreon. So let me make sure that the Patreon knows I'm live right now. Hold on a second, folks. I'm going to make sure that everyone on Patreon knows that we're watching this, and then we're going to continue with this. But yeah, I mean, it's wildly frustrating because lawyers are supposed to represent their clients, right? And while he's done nothing to warrant, I guess, any sanctions against him, live now discussing a bizarre new. While the Arizona bar, okay. While he's basically done everything legal that he's allowed to do, the reason it's in poor taste is because, first of all, every other lawyer you talk to says this is wild that he's doing this publicly. Rather than fight the fight he's supposed to fight through the court system, he's bringing, media in, calling us names. He's made it really personal. And to be quite honest, I have not taken the bait and made it personal about him. I've gotten sent all of his history. I don't cover it. That's not pertinent to what I want to cover here, which is trying to get justice for all involved. So he kind of went on some sort of he was like, well, they clearly have done nothing wrong. It's like, well, clearly you have, because he posts things, then deletes him, and they say, well, at least he's apologizing afterwards. He's relating people to having special needs because they don't have maybe the comprehension skills he thinks he has. I mean, guys, it's bizarre. It's bizarre. It's toxic, but I don't believe it's out of left field. I believe there's something behind it. And I just wonder if this is the game that he was hired to play. It's like in hockey, there's usually a guy, like a thug on every hockey team, that their job's not to score goals. Their job's just to beat up other people. That's kind of what it feels like to me. And I think that's a fair way to look at it, having looked at this for the last month or so. So Greg keeps on going to Gingras. You have read my file since you shared some of it, and while Jane and I were intimate one night, regrettably so times 1 trillion, I did not get her pregnant. The evening was also consensual. I did not R word or orchestrate her R word or whatever that horrific lie was that she told the judge when she was refusing to be on the computer screen where someone could see and visually confirm her pregnancy. Sound familiar? Yeah, that's in response to the email she sent to the judge, claiming this crazy conspiracy between Woodnick and Gillespie, which again, the judge had to warn her, don't ever do that again. He continues, I refuse to date Jane or do her relationship contract thing, despite her telling me that she would only have an abortion if I went to her sister's wedding and other crazy demands. It is not just a coincidence that Mike, Matt, and Clayton all have nearly the same story. You should also see the OOP the court granted me prior to getting counsel. It was granted and signed by the judge. Do you think I can read the future, or is it a miraculous phenomenon that this document lays the groundwork for a nearly identical timeline Jane has displayed between herself and ABC's The Bachelor? She's a lush for celebrities. Have you not seen it? I'm happy to share it with you as it contains our court's seal, time-stamped and dated. Let me know if you feel compelled to see it. Jane tried to ruin my life with her abortion coercion lawsuit for a twin pregnancy that never happened. She claimed she was pregnant in days. She doctored, photoshopped an ultrasound image taken from a website online from years before 2015. Sound familiar? She hid from court-ordered meetings off camera because she was hiding not being pregnant, and then claimed I somehow was involved in her R word. She even claimed one fetus died because she only took one of the abortion pills. I can go on about the insanity. She tried to ruin my life. She failed, as I have a real child and have been to real OB appointments. Unlike Jane, I'm pretty familiar with how a real pregnancy works. Her story with Clayton is so similar. Just like with Clayton, she contacted my family and made up connections with my life to make herself feel impactful. She contacted ex-girlfriends based off of one conversation we had on one date and continues to try to connect with them. She sent a cease and desist to my current girlfriend's work just a few months ago to continue to harass me and my family. So we have all of this. Now, the only problem here from Greg Gillespie is that he's trying to speak to her lawyer as if it's a good faith conversation. He's trying to speak to her lawyer as if he's going to read this and go, oh, you're right. There are all these similarities. Gingras don't care. That's not Gingras. That's not what he's here for. He's here to either try to win on a technicality or say, you know what, maybe she lied. But he's trying to argue that there's a shadow of a doubt that as long as Clayton even touched her, she could have gotten pregnant. And because of that, she has the right to do X, Y, and Z. Now, Greg Gillespie, Matt, Mike, Clayton, Woodnick, myself, we're all hoping for different reasons. Mine being not wanting to be sued into oblivion when they have no case at all, but they can still try. Mine being, I want justice to prevail. I want this judge to speak in this courtroom on June 10th and share that fraud was committed. I want that stated, because we're never going to get that from Ravgen, it appears. We're never going to get that from, when you try to argue a negative. If I say I'm pregnant and you say, no, Dave, you're not. I say, how do you know I'm not pregnant? Well, because you never proven pregnancy. Doesn't mean I'm not, it's so hard to prove a negative. If what we can prove is all of the ultrasounds, all of the confirmed from an expert, technician, that she faked ovarian cancer and sent those medical documents. And there are new documents. I'm not going to get to them today. I've got I've got a doula appointment and I've got a pediatrician appointment here. By the way, update, son is doing so great. Thank you for all of the Mother's Day messages you sent my wife. Thank you guys. Let me tell you something. As a new parent, and I'm sure you guys understand this. As a new parent, it is so hard to come to work. Wife is in the other room feeding the baby right now. On the next hour at noon, oh shoot, we got to go. At noon, we are going to start covering the. I'm going to bring the baby in here in the bassinet and work on the Patreon, the private, on the other stuff, because we just have a lot going on today. I got to be done by 1. All right. So anyway, he continues and he says all these things. David, imagine spending a few hours with a human. Hold on 1 second. He says, David, imagine spending a few hours with a human and almost 3 years later, that human is still attempting to be involved in your life. Do I think Jane is maniacal? Ask me on June 10th. You probably realize the same thing, but already got paid and are in too far to turn back after the atrocities you've posted online. Greg. Wow. Interesting stuff. And then here we have the response from Gingras. Greg, it's Sunday night and I didn't see your email until just this second. Do you want to have a conversation? Despite whatever Woodnick may have said, I am a completely normal guy and I am willing to have a conversation with you man to man, off the record, nothing recorded and no threats. I'm happy to talk now or tomorrow or whatever. FYI, there is an ethical rule that says if you have a lawyer, I can't speak directly with you. I can only talk to your lawyer. I know Woodnick was your lawyer in the past, but I'm not aware of him representing you today. If Woodnick is still representing you, let me know so I can go through the correct channel. Otherwise, Marcel, I'm happy to talk with you right now or tomorrow or whatever. Lawyers are not permitted to lie, so I will promise you this convo will not be recorded, will not be shared with anyone. It will not be posted on social media or anywhere else. Just let me know. So it's kind of like he plays both good cop and bad cop. He plays good cop to you, and then he plays bad cop on social media. But the truth is, I'll say this. In my opinion, he's hiding behind, I can't respond to you because I don't know if you've got a lawyer or not. So all of this stuff that was just said, all of this that was said, he doesn't respond to. All of the crazy information, the damning accusations and all of that, he just doesn't respond to it. So then we get a response from Greg Gillespie. And at this point, it's on, baby. We're going back and forth. Greg Gillespie says, I'll talk, but man to man, I have no problem putting things in writing. You know Jane is effing with you, and it's all a lie, right? There's nothing you can do or say to get me to entertain Jane or you. In fact, you're associated with her. Therefore, you should know my sentiment towards you as a person. Yikes. Susan says Gingras is baiting Greg. Well, Gingras wanted the same thing from me. He wanted a phone call. He wants everything to be on a phone call off the record. And I think what Gillespie has realized is the only safe place to exist is on the record and through paper trails. He responds to Greg. You reached out to me. Now, by the way, again, this after he introduced Gillespie on his blog. Now, it's one thing to introduce things, you know what I mean? It's one thing to be like, all right, we're going to let this play out in the court system, whatever. He's introducing Greg Gillespie into the blog. Greg Gillespie, by all accounts, is a victim here of several years of going through all of this. And, by Gingras sharing all of that, just like with Mike Maricini, he's sharing victims. And it's almost like Gingras is getting away with the same thing that Jane Doe is getting away with, which is people don't care. Society doesn't care. If the roles were reversed here and you had female victims and you had a lawyer that was just exposing them and having them relive all of this trauma, I think they'd have hell to pay. But for the most part, he's able to get away with it because he wants to man up, and men need to be men. And he claims that he had a similar paternity scandal because he hooked up with someone in spring break. The truth is there's nothing similar at all between this paternity scandal from Gingras, because in Gingras's paternity scandal, he was able to prove he wasn't the father because I believe there was a real baby. There was a real baby here. So it was all solved. With Gillespie, 3 years of this because there are no babies. Okay. You can't prove a negative. So anyhow, I don't know. My super chat button is not working. I'm sorry. I'm having a very strange thing go on here. I kind of feel like there was something. Anyway, if someone sent me a super chat and I missed it, just let me know here. Sorry about that. System's not working today. So David responds, Greg, you reached out to me again after, the public exploitation. I have no interest in messing with you. I had no idea who you were as of 3 weeks ago. And when this is all over, I am happy to move on to other things. You and I do not have any personal dispute with each other. Gingras is happy to move on with other things. Gillespie will have to live with what has been posted and shared on the internet. I don't know anything about Jane's past other than what the file contains. None of this is personal to me. I'm only searching for the truth, and I only care about the things that are needed to resolve the legal issues I'm working on. By the way, it is personal to Gingras. It's personal when you went on that rant about me. It's personal way the way he's trying to make him the case here. Rainbow at $10 said, you deserve this and much more. Keep up the good fight. We all support you. Thank you so much. He continues, with that said, I don't see any grounds to say that Jane is effing with me. She's not the one pushing any of this forward. She wants to go on with her life, and she has no interest in dragging any of her past into the present if she does not have to. I would argue she doesn't want to go on with her life because with Mike Maricini, she ended up writing about him. She ended up monetizing it. Lab-grown victimhood is what we're calling it. It is zirconium. Or I guess zirconium is not a real diamond. It is like a lab-grown diamond. I believe she's creating scenarios where she can play the victim. And while her lawyer might say, no, she just wants to go on with her life. No. She wants to go on, and then in a year, there's another chicken soup for the soul or whatever the hell is going to come out of this. So Clayton says, no. This has to be ended now. And like holy water on an exorcism, it's just heads are spinning. He continues, the only issue I am worried about right now relates to the situation with Clayton Echard. I don't have any interest in you at all, except to the extent that Woodnick says you have important information that bears on the case I'm working on. If Woodnick didn't bring you up, I'd have no interest in you at all. If you have important info, then I'm happy to talk. If you don't, then I have no interest in disturbing your privacy. And then so Greg Gillespie responds, David, may I call you David? First, I would like to hear your response to the important information I've already shared with you in my previous email. All right, great. I love that. Gillespie says, you didn't respond to anything I shared. I noticed you have jumped at the opportunity to respond to a few latter adverse comments, yet you have nothing to say regarding the very important context of my original communication. Non-lawyers like myself would find this sort of thing peculiar. Do you? Please share your man-to-man thoughts before replying to any of the below. This has nothing to do with anything Greg said. Nothing really. And it is weird that you think my anger is related to anything other than Jane's actions. It is about what happened to me. It is about what happened to Mike. It is about what happened to Matt. It is about what is happening to Clayton. I read you said you would quit the case if you found out Jane was lying. Integrity would be doing that, as you know she has lied. Instead, you're inciting conflict on the internet. And I think Jane wants you to embarrass me here like she tried with my work, family, and girlfriend. You want a man-to-man talk? So here it is. She has destroyed lives with her lies. Be a man and tell her to finally admit she has a problem and that she regrets the lies and hell she has caused because 4 men did not want to date her. You have no idea how horrific it is to be falsely accused of the R word and more. You already have demonstrated with your post that you are committed to being Conor McGregor and winning. A win here is her admitting she faked records and used fake pregnancies to manipulate men. Then she should go get help before more people suffer her torture. Greg Gillespie. Pretty wild stuff. 3 more emails. Greg, just for your information, I blocked, and this is from Gingras now. I blocked your number on my phone. I don't have time for games. And I don't know what Greg sent on a text. I'm happy to look at evidence you have that shows Jane lying, if you have it. We'll get to that in a second. I asked for this several times and you produce nothing. I interpret that to mean you have no evidence. People who have proof don't play games. They lay their cards on the table. Only liars and bluffers won't do this. I've been doing this for 20 plus years and it is always the same. If you have evidence, you show it. If you don't, you throw insults and attacks. Yawn. Not impressed. The legal system doesn't tolerate games like this. If you have something that shows Jane lying, you are welcome to email it to me here. I'm always open to seeing evidence that Jane is wrong. If you prove with evidence, not speculation, that she lied about anything relevant, I will drop her immediately. I've said that repeatedly in the offer stance. So now he says if that she lied with anything relevant. Well, what does relevant even mean, really? Relevant to what? If basically if Gingrich says as long as she thought she was pregnant, it's fine. So the only evidence that Gingrich will take is that she's on the phone saying, I know I'm not pregnant. I'm doing this to F with somebody. We're never going to get that evidence. Gingrich will never get the evidence he needs to drop this case. To be clear, that does not apply to things she has admitted being untruthful about, like the top of the Planned Parent ultrasound with Clayton, which is of minimal importance in this case. People are allowed to make mistakes and admit them. That is not a basis to drop them as a client. Well, I believe it is. And I believe it's why previous lawyers dropped her. I need proof that Jane has lied about something that actually matters and that she has not confessed to being untruthful. As I'm sure you know, Clayton has also admitted to lying in this case. Nice guy. Now, Clayton's lies revolved around a real estate deal, nothing to do with the paternity case whatsoever. And those lies, I would argue, weren't lies so much as maybe an omission of doing his duty as a real estate agent. More name calling, insults, random speculation are not worth my time and will receive no response. So I'm not considering any of that, nor will the judge. So Gingrich essentially says, send me proof and I will consider it. So then Greg Gillespie says, no problem. Did you receive it? Both recordings. So I'm guessing Greg Gillespie sent him the recordings I'm about to play for you. And then let's see, what date was that? That was April 23rd, 5:24 p.m. Now we have April 23rd, 10 p.m. Hey, Gingrich, is everything okay? I was worried when I never heard back from you today. I figured after the nice words in your previous email, you would for sure want to follow up after receiving the very evidence you believed I was bluffing about. Get what you need. I held up my end of the bargain. Be a man. Hold up yours. Greg Gillespie. So what he was referencing was, I believe, this voicemail or voice note, which is Greg Gillespie. This is Greg Gillespie recording Jane Doe as she claims she was pregnant with twins. The reason this is important is because this proves that the ultrasound, which I'm going to share with you guys, that was sent, this proves that ultrasound, which she claims didn't come from her, actually did. So what happened was, he showed her the ultrasound that she had sent him, and showed a photo of her. Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong page. He showed a photo. She was at the door coming to go see him or whatever. He took the photo. His dog was right there. And then there was this ultrasound that she sent to him. In this ultrasound that she sent to him, he said, "Hey, just so you know, that ultrasound is from a blog and not from you. So just because she was testing positive, she never provided an ultrasound that wasn't traced back to somewhere else." I say all of that because she denies ever sending him that ultrasound. And as I've shown before, this audio right here shows otherwise.
I estimated they asked you when you think you got pregnant.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, so what were you trying to do other than be sarcastic?
Nothing. I'm just excited we're going to have a kid.
What? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to say?
Can you hear this?
Because you're obviously not excited. So what
So your pills didn't work?
I didn't say my pills didn't work. I got an ultrasound today.
I know, but they didn't work.
Did you not see that the other thing is like the tiniest thing you've ever seen? It clearly stopped the growth in that.
Wait, what thing? That's not a child. There's no twins in this picture.
Yeah, there are. Do you want me to zoom in on it for you?
So I know it reads like a telenovela. So he goes, there aren't twins in this picture. I don't know if he's kind of baiting her. And she says, do you want me to zoom in for it? And she shares it with him. So it's my belief then, and again, it's my belief that now she's talking to him through her family email, because initially she was talking to him through a phone number, and I think maybe he had her blocked. So she sends him this photo here, which again was the same one from before, where she says one of the twins passed away. She says one of the twins passed away because she only took one of the abortion pills or whatever, but she still claims she's still pregnant. Now, we know what we know now. When you zoom in on this, you see the Fiverr logo. You see this thing going on right here, the Fiverr logo. I can't believe that they didn't see this. Again, you don't know what you don't know. Your brain kind of is looking up here, your brain's looking down here. But what you and I know is that there's a Fiverr logo. So at this point, she's still claiming this is hers. Currently, she's saying, I never claimed twins. That was something Greg Gillespie made up. None of this is true, blah, blah, blah. But what I'm sharing with you is her email address, a photo sent from her, a voice note where she talks about sending this in the same moment, and somehow we're still not supposed to believe this is her. I mean, when you talk about a smoking gun, we've got a gun that's smoking, a bullet, a victim, the gun attached to somebody's hand, all of that evidence.
Yeah, I don't know. There's no twins in this photo.
Yeah, there is.
So I think Greg Gillespie's baiting her to describe the photo. He's going, there's no twins in this photo. She's going to start describing it to him. So he's playing dumb, and he's getting her to, I guess, deeper describe this image.
Where? I don't know. I know how to read ultrasounds. This is a single baby.
You know how to read ultrasounds?
Yeah.
If you go down here, I'll just screenshot it for you.
So she screenshots it for him.
So what you want me to? Do you think that you want me to tell you I made a mistake, and you want me to? What did you say?
Well, you clearly were never planning to see me again.
Wait, you want me to stop and tell you? Let's go see the lawyer together.
Let's go what?
Let's go to the lawyer together. We'll talk to the lawyer.
That's what you would like to do?
Yeah.
You don't want to do, so you were just totally bullshitting
Wait,
me
so
then?
you want to have a surgical? Oh, wait, you want to have wait, I'm just reading still. You want to have an abortion, a surgical abortion.
That's what I thought you wanted.
So you want to go have a surgical abortion?
That was what I thought you wanted.
Buckle up. So that's where they stand. And somehow, again, not to make myself the main character here, because I'm not, but somehow I'm the one getting bullied, getting threatened with homelessness and defamation lawsuits into the millions of dollars because I'm sharing this. It took a while to piece this all together, but I think we're there. So she sends him this. And by the way, her lawyers watch probably most of my content. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. Listen, to her lawyer, I'm married. I'm not your competition. I don't need the dick measuring contest. We don't have to do thumb wrestling. We don't need to duke it out. Like, I don't need to be your adversary here. I'm just reporting on what I find. So you can either stop watch. I usually don't tell people this, but you can unsubscribe from my channel. You don't need to be here. Same thing with Jane. You don't have to be a part of my Patreon. You can actually go on with your life and just keep on living it. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm reporting in good faith that what I'm sharing with you is Jane Doe sending a fabricated ultrasound, zooming in to the part where she's describing on the voice note we have. Look, I could take a victory lap all day long and be like, in your face, Genghis, go suck on it. But I don't have time to do that. I'm living a good life. I'm late. I got things to do. I got to go to the pediatric thing. I got to deal with this. I got to mow the front lawn today. I got things to do. So I tell you what, I'll continue to do my job and you continue to do yours. And I appreciate the fact that you took my name out of your Twitter bio, but don't pretend like you didn't do some unethical shit, because you did. Otherwise, you wouldn't have deleted what you wrote. As part of the 4 agreements, be impeccable with your word. Don't delete things, and I mean, delete them if you want, but just be impeccable with your word. You're a smart guy. You're a lawyer. You should be impeccable with your word. It's not your first rodeo. You know what the fuck you're doing. Okay. Not going to get a rise out of me. So it goes on, and so we have these conversations that happen with this email right here. We have, again, these are all from different emails. We have these conversations that happened on this email right here. We have these conversations that happen on text message right here. So isn't it a little odd that we've got, I guess, and you'll argue, well, that's because he blocked her. It's like, who has this many ways of talking? So he texts her. He says, look, I've got video of you at my house. I've got video of this ultrasound I found. He did all these things thinking he was going to catch her in a lie. And yet still, she got the order of protection against him. She shared that she's got her positive pregnancy test, and that overruled what he had. And that's where they stand. Let's see. What else do I have here? I think that's it. Hold on 1 second. I think that's it. I think that's all we have for you today. I do have more emails between Greg Gillespie and Jane Doe. They're wild. One of which might have medical fraud. I'm not ready to share I'm just not ready to share those. I'm a little busy, doing my life. And yeah, like Chicago said, Dave's got a real baby to take care of. And trust me when I say he is beautiful. Is he coming in right now? Is he coming in? Oh, he's coming in right now. Hold on. Honey, I'm about to get off my public live and go to the Patreon. Can he say hi? All right, he's going to say hi right now. All right, I need everybody in the chat to be as quiet as possible, okay? We have a baby coming into the room. So please do me a favor. I can't have them yelling through the internet. The baby's being wheeled in here right now. And we're going to have the baby with us on today's Patreon as we cover new topics. You got to hand him to me. You got to hand him to me. Oh, come on, just hand him to me real quick. No. Come on. And then we're going to go live on Patreon. Come on. He's coming. He had a nice feeding, so we might get some spit up, but I've got plenty of these Hawaiian shirts. Did he already? He already spit up on my fresh sheets. Oh, he already spit up. So anyway, everyone, please be quiet. Be quiet here. Oh, he's wearing a cute outfit. Is that the outfit that Clayton's mom got him? Are those his shorts? No. Oh yeah, he has some stains on his shirt. Here, just pass them across if you don't want to be in camera. Oh, there he is, the king of the internet right here. This is August. August is 7 days old tonight. Tonight he turns 7 at 8:50 p.m. 7 days old. Oh, here he is. Again, I don't mean to pimp him out to everybody here, but that is if you're ever stressing and having a rough day, just look at this baby right here. Just like his dad, he's got the bright red ears. That's a dad genetic thing. No, I'll hang out with him. And so here's what we're going to do. Yeah, you can put the bassinet right back there if you want. So there's my wife right there. We got the mobile bassinet. So August is going to join me on the Patreon, and we're going to go live right now. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this community. We appreciate you. We are here to share love. That's our main goal, is to share love and share this beautiful baby. Look at that little baby right there. That nice hair. Oh, you can see how, is this, can you wash them or is this new? Oh, we have a new, is it a leak? Blowout. Okay, here's what's going to happen. I think I got it on me. Tips for the urine. I'm going to put a new outfit on the baby, and then we're going to go. You can't, with babies, you can't even smell. I think it's urine. Okay. We're going to go on Patreon right now. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for all the love, and we'll see you later. Patreon.com/Dave Neal. I pinned the link if you want to join us. That's where we'll be. And we'll see you this afternoon. If you haven't already, check out the free podcast, Everyday Bachelor Rush Hour, right there. Oh, he opened up his eyes. Oh, he's the cutest. Okay, bye, guys.